Welcome, friends, to this new series of Learning Google Cloud Platform. And here we are actually discussing about Google Cloud databases. So, in the last lecture, we created a MySQL database engine inside the Google Cloud SQL platform. And this Google Cloud SQL is a managed database services offered by Google Cloud. So if you have missed that video where we have created the MySQL database, we are highly encouraging you to watch the video. So in this particular lecture, we're going to learn how we can create a highly available MySQL database inside the Google Cloud platform. Now, as we have already created the database, which was actually not enabled for the highly available, which was created in a single zone. So in this particular video, we are going to modify that instance to enable the high available database. Now, when you are going to create the database, you can also specify the same. So if you have missed the video, again, we are encouraging to see how the different options are coming during the creation of the Cloud SQL database in the previous video. So friends, this is our Google Cloud platform, and we are right now on Cloud SQL dashboard, where we are having a single database instance, MyDB, and this is created as an enterprise one. So all these things we have discussed in the earlier lecture, what exactly the enterprise is and enterprise class, what are the difference between them. And this particular database is having no public IP address. So this is a completely secured private database inside the Google Cloud platform. So we have not enabled the highly available options. Right now, we're going to create that one. And this particular database is in US Central 1A zone. And this particular database, we have created a virtual machine in the same VPC, default VPC, in the same region, US Central 1A. And we are going to connect to MySQL instance from this instance. So what we have done, we have specified the IP address of our MySQL instance. So if we check this private IP address 10.89.60.43, so this is exactly the same IP address, and we have provided the root password to connect to this particular database. Now, we have cleaned the database, so there is nothing inside the database. We have no tables, no databases, no table spaces, no data, nothing at all. So how we can check that? So databases, and we can see there is no databases other than the default ones. We can specify like show tables, and we can see that there is no tables because we have not used any databases. We have not connected to any databases anyway. So we can create a database right now. So we can say create database sample, and we can connect to the sample database. Now we are going to create one table, create table employee, and we can say name as character 30 and employee ID, which is integer, and we can create the table over here. So we are going to insert some data, insert into employee values, and we can say John, and we can say the employee ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can insert the data. We can see the data inside this employee table. So that's it, we have done. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to create the highly available option. So basically, we are going to click this enable button, and what we're going to say, we are going to create the database to be available into different zones. So apart from US Central 1A, we are going to host this database as a standby in a separate zone so that if any disaster happens, we can fail over the database to that particular zone. So once you have clicked this enable button, what it is going to do, it is being updated right now. So in few minutes, we can see these highly available options will be enabled, and we can see this particular database is having one counterpart in a different zone. So right now, this instance is being updated, and we can see the database right now is not available in a different zone. So highly available option is not enabled right now. It's a zonal, but still it is being updated. Once updation is done, we can see this particular option will be changed to highly available option. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. We can see this operation has been logged, that we are going to update the instance uh, which was started 2 minutes back, and let us see how it goes on. All right, one important part is that the instance is being updated and it can take few minutes, but once the operation is running, you may continue to view information about the instance. So that is what we can do. We can see the informations about this instance. But what will happen if we are going to connect this instance at this particular moment? So let's try this thing. We can say MySQL and this particular host, and we can provide the password. So what it will do, it will say that it can't connect to the server on this particular IP address. So let us see whether this IP address is wrong. No, it's exactly the same. So what is the error? So maybe we can refresh the whole page once again, and we can see right now this instance is runnable, and this instance is actually highly available, and it's not a zonal database anymore, it's a regional database. So if we are going to connect to the server once again, and if we provide the password, we can see, bang on, we have connected to the instance. And if we check whether we have the sample database or not, we can see the sample database is there. And if we directly check the employee table, we can see the John and this employee ID is still there. So there is no change in the database when we made the database highly available regional one. And right now it's still on Central 1A. Now, what will happen if the Central 1A zone got crashed? Okay. So at that moment, we are going to host this particular database or take over this particular database in a different zone. All right. So if we go back to these all instances, we can see this particular MyDB database is right now highly available, and it is on US Central 1A zone. All right, so let's go to this instance one more time. And right now, let's try to do the failover. So there is one button called failover. We can click this button, and we need to specify the database name over there, and we can trigger this failover manually. Now, see if there is any issue on US Central 1A zone, for example, and that at that particular time, this failover will be automatic. We no need to manually failover the database to the other zone. Rather than it will be automatically triggered when there is any issue on the Central 1A zone. But when there is an exercise will be practiced, we generally do in the industry, And that is a regular practice to see how this database going to be hosted in a different zone. Now see, when this failover is completed, within a minute or so, the location of this database got changed. So right now, the database is being served from US Central 1 C zone. So there is a standby replica that was already created when we enabled this high available option, and that particular database was hosted on US Central 1 C zone, where the primary database was on US Central 1 A zone. Now, when we initiated this failover, we actually took this database over to US Central 1C. So right now, this primary database is on US Central 1C, and the standby counterpart is on US Central 1A. So if we check this IP address, connect the database one more time, and once the database is connected, we can use the sample database and we can check whether our employee data is there or not. So you can see there is no loss of the data in this database when we failed over the database to a different zone. So that's the beauty of high available. So if there is any issue on a single zone, then we can definitely use the other zone to run the database without losing any data. So that's all for today. So we have learned how we can enable the high available option in Cloud SQL and how we can do the failover manually for the DL exercises. So thank you friends for watching this video. We will see in the next video with more some interesting features on Cloud SQL. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.